Arsh, we are live. Hello,
Hello.
Welcome everyone to Couch Pundits Sports Formula One things, streams, post-race Baku, Azerbaijan discussion. Generally, happy with the weekend. Were you, Arsh? Because
Yes. Being a McLaren supporter, I was happy having two cars in the points yesterday, day before. जब भी था. And I was very happy. It was quite an eventful race. Baku promises always to be an eventful race. And Baku delivered its promise this year as well. And not only in F1,
Baku.
not only in F1, but F2 as well.
That's true. That's true. We'll cover that also. We're going to cover a bunch of things today. It is going to be, as usual, an hour-long stream. So hope you guys stay around for that long. If you're here, please hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Tell your friends, family, and relatives about it. And what are we going to discuss today? We're going to discuss how Ferrari should be in the midfield. Suddenly, they are not.
How Ferrari are in the midfield.
Yeah, they should be, but they are not. We're going to discuss how Lewis is still a Rotlu and will continue to be a Rotlu. We will discuss the problems with Mercedes. We will discuss the problems in McLaren that seem to be getting better. We will also obviously discuss how Red Bull just keep marching on.
How Checo gave it a good fight, but his pace was not there towards the end of the race.
We're going to discuss what happened with Checo and Max. Checo obviously not happy with some of the decisions that the team took. We're also going to cover Formula 2. Jehan doing well in the sprint race. And,
as well as the feature.
As well as the feature, finishing P4, but also owing to like 75 crashes that happened.
Yeah. And like 55 safety cars.
Yeah, pretty much. That's also how he lost his lead in.
He did his restart. His restart was an issue.
But so I think let's take it off with F2 while we wait for people to come in.
Yes.
Sprint race, Jehan with a fabulous start. I think he was starting P3 and he was into the lead by turn 3.
Correct.
Kept the lead of that race. That sprint race had like what, 4 safety cars?
Yeah, build up a 15-second or plus gap before the first 2 safety cars that came in.
Yeah,
there were 3 safety cars, I think, that race. And between the first safety car, he'd build up a good 15-second gap. Unfortunately, safety car pushed the field together, survived the second safety car as well, had a good restart. Then when the third safety car came in and they, I think, red flagged the race and they had to restart with Jehan starting on pole and Vesti right besides him, he locked up.
I thought it was a rolling start.
Was it?
There was a rolling
start.
There
was a lot that happened.
Red flag sprint race में हुआ था.
Red flag sprint race में.
कुछ भी मत बोल तू.
पूछ रहा हूँ यार, बोल कहाँ रहा हूँ.
नहीं हुआ था. Safety car आया, rolling start किया,
rolling start,
locked up into turn 1.
Turn 1.
And
locked up into turn 1. Vesti took the lead.
And that was that. That was one lap. That was the last lap.
That was the last lap. Last lap safety car.
There was no time to overtake. There was no space to overtake.
Throwback to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, so it was bad for him in the sprint race where he started P3, finished P2.
Finished P2, yeah.
Finished P2. And in the feature race, he started P8 because that's where he finished in qualifying and ended up P4. Would have finished P8 if it weren't for like 78 crashes or whatever, 36 safety
4
cars.
of them, like I think Frederick Vasseur gave it away. He was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
He gave it away. Vesti locked up as well. Vesti lost it. Yuri Vips crashed out. Yuri Vips, the man that started on pole. Crashed out.
Yuri Vips was going to win that race, man.
He was
winning the race. Last 2 laps he crashed out.
Enzo Fittipaldi did pretty well. Started P16 and ended P6. Enzo Fittipaldi, the brother of Pietro Fittipaldi, reserve driver for Haas, and he did pretty well.
Yeah. So that was Jehan's weekend. Good bunch of points for him. P3 in Drivers' Championship.
He had the best start of the weekend.
That's true. That is true. They showed that a bunch
start
of
in
times.
The sprint. Yeah.
3 लोगों को ले लिया एक साथ, 2 लोगों को ले लिया एक साथ. But yeah, overall good for him.
Currently
And
still holding on to P3 in the championship and very close to P2 in the championship by I think just a few points.
yeah, but P1 is like 50 points ahead of him. So it's
You
going to be a
never
tough
know.
one.
This is Formula 2.
I
Formula 2, if
know.
you have...
I know. But it's still 50 points is a big leap. And it'll take some doing from him. And it'll also take some bad doing from the leader. So we'll see.
Speaking of a big leap to the championship leader, Charles Leclerc. What a great segue to Formula 1.
That was great, Arsh. Well done. You should be proud of yourself.
I am.
So take it forward. Don't just segue and leave it there.
So talking of a great championship lead, there was a time where Leclerc was leading Max by 35 points in the championship. And now we are at a point where Max Verstappen is leading Leclerc by 35 points. And George Russell has jumped Mr. Carlos Sainz in the championship. Leclerc is closer to Russell in the championship, just about 6 or 7 points away in P3 than he is to Mr. Max Verstappen. Now, for the people that are just watching and are just tuning in and don't know much about the point system about F2 and F1, F2, you have a lot more chances of making points over the weekend because you have 2 races, the sprint and the feature, and you get points for fastest lap and pole. So at least until last year, you're getting 4 points for pole. I don't think it's changed this year, but you have a lot more chances of getting it. Whereas in Formula 1, you just have one shot at getting points, which is on Sunday, at least for a few races, apart from sprint races, which are 3 weekends this year, one already being done. It's going to be a big task for Ferrari because they're also about 80 points clear of Red Bull is about 80 points clear of Ferrari in the constructors. 279 to 199. So that is a big jump. That is for points. I think Checo is just about 14 or 15 points away from Verstappen in P2, which is also great. Checo, I think after getting a contract, has just shown his different color, bro. Like he outperformed Verstappen every single session this weekend. So that was good to watch.
Okay, and we have the regular stream question. Any hopes for Jehan to make it in F1?
Yes, there are rumors of his test soon.
यार वो McLaren के साथ टेस्ट करने वाला है, which is a paid test. And
which also
that's good for him.
Which also side note, Mr. Mahavir Raghunathan, for those who don't know, also did that with Alfa Romeo last year, along with Theo Pourchaire.
Yeah. So yeah, but it looks very difficult unless he wins F2 this year. If
or
he
at
wins,
least comes runner-up.
Yeah, if he wins or comes runner-up, he could. If he wins, definitely he'll get somewhere in F1 next year as a reserve driver. If he comes runner-up, it'll be slightly more difficult. But being part of the... तो खत्म कर ले.
No, I'm just saying the rule state the F2 champion can't drive again in F2.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough being part of the Red Bull Driver Academy. It's very competitive.
But to also give credit to him, he is the one that's performing, even though he's not as consistent, he is performing the best out of the 4 drivers right now. 2 of being rookies, Iwasa and Hauger are rookies. So his news, some DM Lawson is also not that good. So
yeah. Moving to Formula 1 now. Whole bunch of things happened this weekend. Arsh has already given you like all the information, so I'm not going to go over it. We're just going to start giving you our opinions. I still think Ferrari is a midfield team. I don't think that they have worked on the car the way they need to. They've had 2 DNFs. Leclerc has had 2 DNFs in the last 3 races. Sainz has had like 17 DNFs in like 4 races. Oh, kya karta hai, pata nahi. This time it was not either of those drivers' faults. Sainz had a hydraulic issue and Leclerc had an engine failure.
He had an MGUK issue. Yeah.
MGUK issue. For lay people, that's engine failure. So yeah, it sucked. It sucked because Ferrari was looking so good this year. We thought we're going to have a 3-team race. for the Constructors' Championship, with George Russell putting in the points for Mercedes, both drivers from Red Bull putting in the points, and either Leclerc or Sainz putting in the points for Ferrari. So far, what we have seen has been that only. But it sucks, man. It really sucks seeing Ferrari not do so well, because they've been working on this car for what, 2 years now?
Yeah, 2019 and 20, 3 years now, 2019, 20 and 21.
Exactly. And Ferrari ka kya hai na? They had much lesser speed than Red Bull race pace.
Yeah.
On this track. Right? Red Bull had what, 9 kilometers on Ferrari?
Yeah, approx. Yeah, you could see it after the DRS was open.
Yeah.
Red Bull were hitting, I think, 342, 343, whereas these guys could barely touch 335.
That was one. So Red Bull had set up for the race. Even then, and I'll come to this later, Checo could have taken P1 if Red Bull didn't fuck with him in qualifying. And we'll come to this later. It's real bullshit going on over at Red Bull, and I really hope it cost them the championship, because what they're doing is absolute crap. But Ferrari seem to have this thing where they can use their ERS and their battery recharges a lot quicker than everybody else, because they've been working on this car for 3 years. But what they've not fixed is bloody reliability. And that, I think, is more important than anything else, because you're not finishing so many races every year. This year. Just because your car is just like, how must tha na last race, abhi dekh main kya karta hu. And it won't work. And it was disgusting.
Ferrari have figured out.
What have they figured out? They haven't figured out anything. Your internet has issues. Okay, while Arsh figures out his internet, we try and figure out what is happening with Ferrari. Maybe chat can tell us what they think.
Sorry, I just went away for 2 seconds. My internet was reloading.
Yeah, no stress.
So what I was saying about Ferrari is they have figured out qualifying pace. To be fair. Leclerc has had 6 poles this season, which is fantastic. No, he has had 6 poles this season out of 8, or 5 poles out of 8, which is fantastic. Whereas Max Verstappen has had 2 or 3, something like that. They're the only 2 that have had pole, to be fair, this season. No, Checo had in Saudi.
If you've seen that stat, Max Verstappen
has more wins from Leclerc poles than Leclerc poles. Yes.
And that's all you need to know about that man and the team that he's with.
We'll get to how messed up they were for quali, because it was really unfair on Checo. Checo did not get a toe, and he still managed to out-qualify Verstappen. Which tells you a lot more than you need to know about Mr. Checo Perez.
The man likes to party, and the man likes to out-qualify his teammate. Those are 2 things we know about him so far.
The man likes to party like hard. He's Mexican, dude. Tequila is in his blood.
वैसा Checo Perez को काट के उसका खून पियोगे ना तो तुम्हें चढ़ जाएगी.
Honestly.
Yeah. So
but let's go team by team. So Ferrari we've spoken about. Ferrari, honestly, they just need to fix their reliability issues. And it was not only Ferrari. It was most of the Ferrari-powered cars like Guanyu Zhou, Kevin Magnussen, and your 2 normal Ferrari drivers. 4 out of 6 Ferrari engine cars were out of the race because of engine failures.
Yeah.
The only 2 Ferrari drivers to actually get classified are Valtteri Bottas and
Valtteri कौन है?
Valtteri.
कौन है वो? Valtteri है उसका नाम.
अच्छा, Valtteri Bottas.
Battery Voltas. Yeah, man. Ferrari engines not doing so well.
And it is basically, to be fair, if we compare it to the start of the season, it was the same thing with what Red Bull had. If you remember Bahrain,
But they figured it out.
yes, they did. So it's like the tables have turned because in Bahrain, your two Red Bulls, Alpha Tauri, may Pierre Gasly, 3 out of 4 cars of Red Bull powered unit cars, powertrain cars, did not qualify, did not finish a lot of the starting, like I think 2 or 3 of the starting races out of the 8, which two they did not finish. Yeah, the three Red Bull powered cars. So I think in this you see the tables, but the only weird part is that it's affected more cars, obviously, because 3 teams are using Ferrari powered units in comparison to Red Bulls 2. So I think they have issues there that they need to figure out. And yeah, that's for Ferrari, I think. Do you have anything else to say on Ferrari?
I think Ferrari need to just, generally see what they're doing, because वो लोग का कौन है team principal?
Mattia
Binotto. The guy had the audacity to come and say, oh, we didn't think we were going to even challenge. We anyway didn't want to challenge for the championship this year, or some crap like that.
एक काम करते हैं, उसका एड्रेस ढूंढ, उसको जूता डंजो करते हैं.
नहीं, तो you tell me this, okay? The guy has admitted to having worked on this car for 3 years and still is saying we were not going to challenge for the championship this year when your driver is was P2.
Yeah, was P2, P3 now.
P3 now.
P3 and P5.
And that's just what is up with this guy? I thought it was extremely strange when he did that.
I think he knew what was coming towards the end of the season.
Maybe
like,
he did.
हम
Maybe
अच्छा से
he
perform
did,
करेंगे
man.
starting में.
And that
फिर
seems
end
to be
में,
the issue.
फिर end में we will fuck up ourselves. हम अपने पैर में कुल्हाड़ी मारेंगे. You know that.
Like last race also, this is also a problem when your driver decides to get the strategy. Yeah, you know what Sainz did last time at Monaco was he decided the strategy.
Yeah.
And that gave him his position. He could have won the race if for other, blah, blah, blue.
Had it not been Monaco.
But if he had followed his team orders, he would have lost. He would have
been P6.
Some
P6.
random ass. And he decided to go with his gut, which is good. Obviously, there need to be inputs from the drivers, but the decision should be with the team, right?
That's why they're called strategists.
Exactly. But they are like, oh, तू बोल रहा है, ठीक है, तू बोलेगा वैसा करेंगे. Okay, वो पहला problem है. कि फिर तुम्हारा टीम प्रिंसिपल आके बोलता है हम चैलेंज तो नहीं करने वाले. मतलब क्या चल रहा है तुम्हारे कैंप में? Okay, and I understand drivers cannot come outright and criticize the team because there are going to be instances that when the drivers mess up, like Sainz has done 5 times this season, which causes a DNF. But when it's just the car, like the driver obviously feels frustrated. You could hear like somebody like Joe.
He said, "This is not done. You guys need to figure it out."
Like
Joe Guanyu, जिससे मुंह से एक word नहीं निकलता रेस में. He was irritated. He's like, "Guys, what is happening?"
It's like and after the race also he's saying like every time we have a chance, we just have to DNF. We have to retire the car. And what is it? What nonsense is happening?
Mr. Joe Guanyu had some pretty good race.
He outqualified Bottas, no?
Nearly. I think they were like, I'll just 11, open up the stats. Only. I think I'll just open up the stats to confirm. We don't want to give fake statistics on our live stream.
Meanwhile, please hit the like button, guys. It helps with the algorithm, and the more the likes go, the more the viewers come in and all of that. Dip is saying the same guy was talking that wait for our updates and you'll see 3-4 races ago. Exactly.
Yeah.
What updates? They have downgraded their car, yaar. Their car was so much better in the first few races. But having said that, somebody else that was whining a lot before the race.
You are right, Mr. Dhaval Shethia.
He did outqualify.
Yes, 14th to 15th.
Somebody else who was Mercedes was whining so much pre-race. They were just...
What is new?
Their social media team was saying things like, oh, we're so excited but ready to be hurt again. Like, obviously hilarious. But At the same time, these guys came into the race saying, "Hum log nahi hone. We are not there. We don't have the pace. We're not going to do well."
But to be fair, Russell was just chilling the entire race. The only reason he also got P3 was because of the 2 DNFs by Ferrari.
Obviously.
He was chilling in P5
and
DNF हुए.
I think a bunch of people who got points this race, including McLaren, were because of DNFs. If those two DNFs had not happened, McLaren would have been out of the points.
I think one of them would. I think Danny Rick would have been in the points, or Lando. Like one of them would have been in the
If
points.
only one of them would have been in the points, you think they would have followed team orders?
No, they wouldn't have.
Then they wouldn't have. Then I don't think Danny Rick would have been in the points, and I think Lando would have been in the points. We'll come to that. I mean, we will come to that.
Even Vettel. We'll come. Let's finish Ferrari first.
Ferrari is finished according to me. We don't need to.
Yeah, we don't need to finish it. They are already finished.
Let's talk about Mercedes, because I was talking about them whining earlier. Before we move to Red Bull.
They are porpoising so much. Mr. Hamilton is now old, dude. He can't. He's literally having back problems while driving the car.
Yeah. Gasly is also complaining about his discs being affected and all.
Gasly ka aaya na post. He was in some lake. Okay, there are waves in the lake, and he was sitting in a kayak. These waves, this sea is flatter than Baku street circuit.
Comment coming in, they are playing with it too much with the bouncing instead of fixing the car. Okay, let's talk about this. Mercedes wants FIA to step in and do something about porpoising. That
makes no sense.
Obviously, it makes no sense. And here is where I agree with Christian Horner's comments, who has come out and said that, firstly, FIA don't need to do anything about porpoising, because it seems to be localized to a few teams. Correct. It's not like most of the teams have figured it out. And it's a fairly simple solution. Huh?
AlphaTauri have figured it out brilliantly.
Yeah.
Sorry, and Alfa Romeo.
On the face of it, it seems to be a fairly simple solution for some of them who still continue with that problem. And that is just raise the floor of the car a little bit. And if they can do that, it helps with the porpoising a lot, obviously, but the trade-off is you are losing a bit of pace, like a lot of pace. And that's it. You don't want to kill your drivers with all of that. Do it, nah. It's not like somebody's forcing you to do this. You have a solution in front of you. You're just like, no, I will not use that solution. I want like a blanket ban on something so that everyone raises the floor and everyone does this so that we are a level playing field. Matlab kya? What is that entitled nonsense?
Correct. Saksham is coming in with a question in the chat saying Alonso was not a question, a comment. Alonso was savage with not agreeing to having any problems with bouncing. Yeah, Alpine being another team that have actually figured out porpoising to a point where the drivers are having no issues. I mean, Alonso finishing P7 and Ocon finishing P10 in the race.
So Alpine were driving at 346 and all.
Oh, I was shocked.
Speed, dude. What is that?
Alpine has created a beast of a car this year.
Yeah. But yeah, Mercedes were crying before the race. Hamilton was crying after the race. He said it's the worst race ever. बाजू में जॉर्ज रसेल है, हे देखो मैं वापस पोडियम पे आ गया, तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो भाई, गाड़ी तो मस्त है यार, तुम लोग को चलाने को नहीं आता है, तुम्हारा मेन ड्राइवर को चलाने को नहीं आता है, तो उसमें मैं क्या करूं?
नहीं हेलो, किसने बोला मेन ड्राइवर को चलाने नहीं आता है? रसेल चला रहा है.
Yeah. Chat, maybe you can let us know in the comments if you have a solution to Mercedes' porpoising issue. If you had to solve it, how would you solve it? तेरा इंटरनेट नहीं है बराबर लड़के.
Mercedes crying issues.
I don't think anything can.
नहीं अब ठीक है, एक दो सेकंड में होता है ब्रो. अब मैं थोड़ा नया लोकेशन में बैठा हूँ ना, थोड़ा बाहर काम चल रहा है, क्या करें.
Fair. Yeah, Alonso showing Lewis कि मैं भी तो कर रहा हूँ इस उम्र में, to stop being a crybaby. Here is one thing that Lewis Hamilton will never stop doing, and that is being a crybaby, because this is where he has gotten with the attitude that he has, and where he is a great place. Like obviously with the talent and everything also, But if you're a nice guy in Formula One, you don't reach places. As you can see with Daniel Ricciardo, he's not going to reach places. He's too nice of a guy. The guy is too nice, and they're going to kick him out.
See, if he continues, if in the next what we've got 22 races, 8 down, we've got about 12 races to go. Okay, 12 races में अगर वो कम से कम 8 रेस में पॉइंट फिनिश किया ना, तो he's got a chance of holding on.
I am afraid वो ये साल निकल जाएगा. But let's see.
He's got a contract till the end of 23.
That means Jack.
He's got a contract till the end of 23.
That does not mean anything.
That does mean Jack.
Contracts are based on nothing. It's based on
I
trust.
think the next best person, the next best to replace Mr. Danny Rick would be Mr. Pierre Gasly.
Okay, on that note, I'm just going to mute Arsh till he figures out his internet. Yeah. Arsh, figure out your internet. Because even I cannot hear you. Hello, say something.
You've now unmute me. How will I say something before that? Hello, say something.
I mean, Alonso taking digs at Lewis is always fun to watch.
And Alonso does it with such a cheeky smile on his face, huh?
Alonso is amazing, man. Yeah, Red Bull. Let's talk about that. And let's talk about specifically that incident, 2 incidents, where they have purposely fucked with Checo, according to me. First is, देख सबको पता है ये लोग का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स रहता है, सबको पता है कि ये लोग के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स में क्लॉजेस रहता है कि नंबर 1 ड्राइवर मैक्स वर्स्टैपेन है और अगले 6-7 सालों तक तो वो रहेगा ही. जिस भी टीम में जाएगा, मैक्स वर्स्टैपेन विल बी नंबर 1 ड्राइवर and that will be something that he will not go without. So let's not make bones about that. Okay. Now Perez has signed a contract which has certain terms and conditions which we are not privy to, but they very clearly define the relationship between Max and Checo, where Checo has to give him space, but it comes with caveats. It's not like by default they do, or when you are also fighting for the championship they do. It's like if he is much faster or on fresher tires or on a different strategy, then you have to let him go, which is like a very reasonable thing to expect from your number 2 driver. But there is that qualifying ka unwritten rules ke every race mein the alternate who they get to decide, do I want to go first in qualifying, do I want to go second in qualifying, and this is like a standard thing across all teams, correct?
And it doesn't matter number 1 number 2 driver.
Exactly,
दोनों को preference मिलेगा.
Qualifying में the preference alternates race by race, and that seems to be the, like, across the paddock, that seems to be the thing.
Yeah.
And this time it was Checo's turn. He was supposed to get toe, like slipstream, in this race. Q3, last lap of Q3, they are in the pits. Verstappen goes out. They hold back Checo for those crucial 10 seconds, saying something like, तेरी गाड़ी में हम लोग ने fuel नहीं डाला. हाँ, this rookie mistake by Red Bull, in my opinion, cost Checo P1 in qualifying.
And he still out-qualified Verstappen.
He was faster. He was faster throughout the weekend, but they messed with his tires. The second thing that they did was messed with his tires. They should have given him a free pit stop during the first safety car, which would have even covered Red Bull and Leclerc taking that free pit stop. And it was just the more sensible thing to do.
And they dummied it. They dummied it for some reason, because you saw the Red Bull mechanics get out and you see the call being made on the radio for a box.
Yeah.
And Leclerc boxes opposite Checo, thinking that Checo is going to come in, and you can see that during the 5.4 second pit stop that Leclerc had, You can see, because okay, there was 5.4 seconds where the front jack got jammed. You can see when the jack is coming, all the what do you call? All the mechanics are looking at the back and looking at the Red Bull pit. But Red Bull pit तैयार ही नहीं है. They're like, Red Bull pit है कहाँ?
Saksham was also pointing out that Perez pit stop was also conveniently longer. That's what I'm saying. Now, this is some fuckery that's going on with Red Bull. And this is also, remember, this is also what drove Danny Rick away from Red Bull.
Away from Red Bull in 2018.
And while Perez has signed the contract, as I've already said earlier, contracts mean shit in Formula 1. Like, कभी भी तोड़ सकते हैं. और अगर Mercedes ने Perez को ज्यादा पैसा दिया तो उधर चला जाएगा. क्या पता, कुछ भी हो सकता है. But Perez being Perez, he's a team man. And he's not going to fuck around so much. At least not right now. Yeah, they won't allow them to race at the end of the season. They're not allowing them, definitely not at the end of the season, because by the time
they will allow them to race in the head systems in the season when you know that Checo cannot no longer fight for the championship. They're like, chal theek hai, ab fight bhi nahi kar sakta, ye le.
No, they won't. No, especially then they'll be like, Max is winning the championship, so do not mess with his chances because there's nothing on like at stake for you. They will ensure, they will design it in such a manner that Perez is out of the championship running by the time the season is nearing the end, and Max has taken an incredible lead, unassailable almost. So
yeah, that could happen. Like if the way everything is going, and if the way Ferrari keep up their performance, there's a high chance that in 22 races and like 20 races and like 19 races, Verstappen wins the championship this year.
Red Bull will be targeting 18 races because they've come out and said that they are not going to race for the last 4 races unless the budget cap is increased. And let's talk about that now, because what is this rubbish that's going on with the budget cap? With salad? Sorry, I didn't follow what you said. As far as the budget cap is concerned, for those who are not aware, there is a budget cap in Formula 1 this year. All teams have been given an equal spending budget, which includes upgrades, which includes salaries to the teams. It does not include driver salaries, but it includes a whole bunch of other things, like if you need new parts, if you need whatever, like everything has to be included within that, like your travel and this and that and the other. So some of the richer teams like Red Bull, Mercedes and stuff are saying increase the budget cap because we want to pay higher salaries to the people who are working for us. And according to them, it's a reasonable thing to ask. And they are asking for it with accounts. कि देखो हम लोग इतना ज़्यादा ये लोग पे spend कर रहे. It's not like we want more for parts or we want more for this. People like Steiner and all who come from not such rich teams are saying, why? Why should you increase the budget? Everyone has been given the same budget. Everyone is managing. Why can't you? According to me, that's a very fair thing to say, because as much as racing is a part of it, they've added this element to it this year, which is budget cap. I think everyone should play by the rules.
I agree.
Maybe chat can tell us what they think about this request from teams for the increase in budget cap. And while you're at it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Arsh, what is your position on this? Should the budget cap increase or should it?
I think the budget cap should stay the same. I really think the budget cap should stay the same because it gives bigger teams an unfair advantage like Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull, McLaren. Whereas your Haas, your Alfa Romeos, your Alpines and Alfa Tauris are doing, and especially Williams being one of the most underfunded teams, are doing very well with the money that they have. You can't. The point of a budget cap is to have closer racing, is to have a level playing field for everyone. By increasing the budget cap, you're just removing the entire base of the rule. Like the point of the rule was to make it a level playing field, and because you could past that big teams such as Red Bull and Ferrari used to have a budgets of over 450 million pounds for a season. Whereas Haas, Williams, they were struggling with finding a mid-budget cap. You can, and that's what racing is all about. Racing is not only, but it's not only about that. It's about cars battle it out in the front. You want to see something like F2, where you have like 6-7 cars battling it out in the front, and you never know what's going to happen until the last lap.
True. I think I am with you. Budget cap should not change, at least not right now. And what Red Bull are essentially saying is, if you don't increase the budget cap, we will not race for the last 4 races. तो private jet मत लो ना. क्यों जाने का तुमको private jet में? देखो Charlie Boy ने क्या किया? He missed his flight, no, to Montreal. He missed it. No, he is flying commercial.
Commercial
is like, I will fly my own airlines. And Gasly is like, मैं भी आएगा तेरे साथ.
Red Bull, 4 of them travel together, no?
Oh, I thought Checo had his own private planes from the mafia.
No.
From the
government.
The government.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But I think 4 of them, the 4 of them, because they go for a lot of promotional events between the races, and Red Bull sponsored teams. So between the promotional events, they have to have all 4 of them. So it just makes economical sense, even though half the shit they're doing doesn't make economical sense.
Yeah, that's true.
It just makes economical.
To do a lot less promotion this year for whatever reason. But coming back,
chalo, we're done. I think let's move on to the other 4 other teams of the grid.
Yeah, we'll just quickly cover the DNFs and the bottom half teams that did finish in the points. Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams. Alfa Romeo and Haas, obviously, because being Ferrari powered, were facing the same reliability issues, and 1 driver from each of them retired. Zhou and Magnussen both had to retire due to engine issues. What happened to Battery Voltas, we don't know, but he managed to finish the race. And also Mick Schumacher managed to finish the race, albeit in P14. Given the amount of drivers that had retired, that was second to last. I think 5 retirement हुआ. So he was second.
I think 5 retirement हुआ. मैं एक बार खोलता हूँ.
Yeah.
4 retirement. 4. Magnussen, Zhou, Leclerc, Sainz.
एक और था.
Stroll DNF.
Stroll DNF, no? So
but he was classified though.
How? Cheating किया Lawrence ने.
He was classified as 16th in the race. The non-classifications were your Zhou, Magnussen, and Ferrari Sainz, because I think this one crashed. Stroll crashed.
So that's a DNF.
That is a DNF, but it's still a classification. It is not classified if you did not crash and you couldn't finish the race. It's a non-classification.
Okay. I understand. These technical distinctions.
Correct. So if you crashed, you did classify technically.
But he didn't finish the race.
But you didn't finish the race.
Yeah. Of the ones that finished the race, Latifi finished last.
Albon no. Latifi, to be fair, finished 15th.
Which was last.
Yeah.
It was last, Arsh.
Yes. But also, Latifi, to be fair, was given a 10-second stop-go penalty, which was not his fault.
Yeah. But that's just Williams, man. That stop-go penalty was because the Williams guy came and, moved his car a little back.
He's basically stayed on the grid.
You know why? You know why he had to move the car back?
His car was not in the right slot.
And whose fault is that?
Whose
fault is that? The guy can't stop on a line. पता है बॉम्बे में होता तो 1000 रुपए का पेनल्टी कटता उसको.
bro, if you cross the signal 1500 सीधा.
तो फिर इतना भी नहीं आता है उसको. But yeah, I think fairly uneventful races for those 3 teams. Albon P13, not great. P12. Sorry, who was P13 then?
Sonoda.
Oh yeah. We'll come to that. साले ने क्या cheating किया यार. वो लोग को they should not have allowed them to race with that gaffer tape.
That duct tape. They put duct tape on that bloody wing, man.
Should not have allowed. But yeah, uneventful
Pinnacle of
races for those
technology.
guys.
Pinnacle of motorsport technology. Duct tape.
Duct tape. बट तुझे पता है ना वो लोग ऐसा अपने गाड़ी पे भी ऐसा छोटा छोटा टेप लगाते हैं फॉर बेटर एरो.
फॉर बेटर एरो. बट वो तो ठीक है, तू 2 विंग चिपका नहीं रहा ब्रो डक्ट टेप के साथ.
It was so unsafe also, no? But
हाँ, सोच डक्ट टेप ऐसे निकल जाए and then it goes into someone's visor and it just gets stuck because it's tape.
yeah, or the wing just goes out and
With the
flies
duct
off
tape.
and it like hits someone.
Oh.
It's lodged in their head or something.
वो होता तो I'd like to watch that, but without any injury. हुआ ना I think this weekend, not in Formula 1, but I think it was GT4 or it was Le Mans. I'm not sure because Le Mans was also happening. Le Mans 24 hours. A car, because of too much slipstream and aerodynamic, because so basically when a car is following another car, it's called slipstream for the people that don't know. The front car is clearing the dirty air, and if you get too much slipstream and you get too much the aerodynamics is working a little too hard, there's a chance the car at the back literally flies in the air. It happened to Mark Webber as well back in the day, and he flew into the trees. It happened to another car, I think Le Mans mein hua tha ye weekend. It just flew into the trees.
That's crazy. But yeah, let's come back. Bring our discussion back to Formula One. Let's discuss Alpine with insane pace.
They're very quiet.
Nobody managing to overtake them for a whole bunch of time. Vettel struggling with it. Then Hamilton struggling with it to overtake Ocon. Ultimately, they both managed to overtake Ocon at different points in the race. But Ocon kept
Vettel
Hamilton
almost messed up
for about 5 laps and kept Vettel out and sent him into the runoff area once with a great recovery from Vettel there.
What a beautiful donut he made within 3 seconds. Not even 3 seconds. He went off track, done into the race. Yeah. What a guy. He lost only 2 or 3 positions in that time. People lose.
Not even 2 positions. He just came out behind Tsunoda, no?
Yeah.
Like Tsunoda. He had overtaken Ocon, so you could say he lost 2 positions. But fastest U-turn ever seen. It really was, man. I was so impressed by that. And that's experience for you. And now I think Alpine on straights is like insane.
They have figured out porpoising, dude. I'm telling you, they're one of the only teams that have.
That's true. Completely, you think? Like that car doesn't bounce at all?
They have. Not at all, but like...
Turns pe hota hai na thoda.
Turns pe only if you've got a quick turn coming and you don't have to apply that much brake pressure. But in Baku, they were not struggling as much because if you see
on the straights, though, they were not, man.
And porpoising is mainly seen on the straights.
Yeah.
Where every single team was basically like this, like literally just vibrating.
No. Most teams have figured out the straight porpoising. It's the turn porpoising that Ferrari is having issues with. Mercedes is just, don't count Mercedes. Mercedes is refusing to figure it out. Or rather, they know the solution, they're just not choosing it because that affects their pace significantly.
Wow, they've got so much pace to begin with, no?
They have. They did well overall. Alonso in P6, P4. P7.
I'm talking about Mercedes.
Oh. We finished.
I think Mercedes don't have that much pace to figure out that they're refusing to figure out porpoising.
No, if they give up that pace, they'll move to like behind McLaren,
fair enough. Okay, so yeah, Alpine have had a great season so far, dude.
Quiet season, great season.
Quiet season, great season. I think they're just in the standings in constructors, they are at 47 points at P5 with McLaren in P4 at 65. So that is great, and I think both the drivers are doing damn well. 47 points, out of which Esteban Ocon has got 31. Fernando Alonso has got 16. And Fernando Alonso has got 16 points in the last 3 races, dude. So, kudos to the two of them, man.
Yeah. Kudos indeed. Moving on. Your favorite team, McLaren. Take it away.
My boys. I think they had a rough start. They were starting at I think P12, and P13 or P15 respectively. They, if I'm not wrong, they were starting at, Danny Rick was starting at P12, he finished P8. Norris was starting at P11, he finished P9. They had some good pace this weekend. I think they are starting to figure out what their problem is in the car.
Is it
There
Daniel
was
Ricciardo?
fair enough. I deserve that, and so does McLaren. Danny Rick, to be fair, he's getting, I think I'm not going to jinx it, but वो थोड़ा थोड़ा कर रहा है. You could see it even in qualifying. He was performing a little better than Lando until Q2 last lap. He did perform a lot better than Lando this weekend. Now Canada is a place where they both have a lot of experience in. F2 में दोनों ने बहुत race किया है, and Danny Rick has, I think, Danny Rick's first win came in Canada. I think, I'm not wrong. I think, yeah. Danny Rick's first ever win came in Canada, so it's going to be fun to watch them there. Baku is has some very similar straights. It's just a bit shorter in comparison to Canada. Sorry, Canada is just a bit shorter in comparison to Baku. So देखते हैं. I think they're doing well. Yeah, they had a good weekend.
Let's talk about the team orders incidents that happened.
See, the team order incidents, it started off by Danny Rick asking to take over Lando by saying, if this is the pace he has, I'm much faster, let me through. And team orders were like, no, just stay put, we'll figure it out. And I think when they did overtake, Lando also wanted to go through, but there were like a few laps left. There were like 3-4 laps left. And team orders were like, listen, we're just finishing P8, P9. Let's not fuck it up, because I think they know that in Baku, there's a very high chance of the two cars colliding if they're going very fast. We saw that with Red Bull in 2016, with Verstappen and Ricciardo collide and both of them getting DNFs. So we saw that with Red Bull in 2016. We saw that we saw a lot of collisions happen in F2 because of fast pace. And if you don't time it perfectly, there's a high chance that one of the drivers that is overtaking goes into the runoffs. And then because you're running in P8 to P9, it's a very big risk to take. Because if you go in the runoff, you might lose out the points completely.
Or if you slow down too much, the guys behind you will come back.
The guys behind you. So which is what Ricciardo was saying, right? Ricciardo was like, if you don't let me through, if you don't let me through right now, and if I go too slowly, Ocon will catch up.
Gasly
or Ocon, one of them that was behind him was like, they will catch up. So don't switch right now. You'll be under threat from the guys at the back.
True. Yeah, I think that leaves us with Seb Vettel with a brilliant race. We spoke about his incident with Ocon already, but Seb Vettel carrying them, Aston Martin.
Correct.
I don't know, man. The guy, if you give him, I think what would happen if Vettel went back to Red Bull and
a fifth championship.
He brought Alonso with him.
A fifth championship and a third championship. Third championship.
Dono jeet jayenge.
Dono. Vettel will be like, I'm taking constructors, you take drivers. Christian will be like, मैं घर जा रहा हूँ.
But yeah, man, I think both these drivers still have got it. And give them a good car. Like, even without good cars, they're doing so well. So give them a good car and like, क्या ही कर लेंगे वो लोग. क्योंकि experience तो है, mistakes नहीं करेंगे, वही तो चाहिए. Everyone wants to see like this young blood in good cars, but why? Put the young blood in Alfa Romeos, no. Put these guys where they belong, and that is with the good cars. And you see, like, this is such a stupid sport. It's such a stupid sport.
We still watch it every weekend.
I still watch it every weekend. It's like, you're saying Roger Federer should play Wimbledon, but उसके रैकेट में ऐसा होल डाल दो, एक बड़ा सा होल बीच में, because he's too good. हाँ, और Alcaraz को 1.5 फुट बड़ा रैकेट दो.
Correct.
Because he's young and he'll hit it hard. What is this? Sport is stupid.
It's like Virat Kohli को underarm दो थोड़ा
अब ना मैच भी चल रहा था कहीं तो.
अभी चल रहा है
Anyway,
मेरे सामने चल रहा है.
that brings us to the
89 for 5.
end of the stream.
Yes, it does. But we will be back next Tuesday. We will be back next Tuesday for the Canadian Grand Prix. Canadian Grand Prix is happening 11:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Sunday night IST. Canada, Montreal. Canada is apna Canada.
Arsh is a Canadian citizen like Akshay Kumar and does not pay taxes in either country like Akshay Kumar.
I am an Indian citizen. I lived in Canada for 6 years and I'm going back at the end of the month.
Still doesn't pay taxes anywhere.
That is true. I am live stream पे बोल दिया आप. But I am very excited. I am very excited because Montreal में as we speak right now बारिश हो रही है. In Montreal.
Yeah, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain. There's a whole bunch of things that are expected at this rate. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh, we are very excited. Unless it's like Spa, then we will not be excited.
No. It's not one of those tracks.
No.
We'll see.
Let's see.
Even Hamilton got his first win in Canada, no?
Hamilton got his first win in Canada in 2007.
15 years ago. They celebrated that weekend during practice.
2007, yes. And last time, I think in 2010, the longest race in F1 ever to be recorded with 6 pit stops by some teams.
Mm-hmm.
The winner of that race was Jenson Button on the final lap.
When the Red Bull spun off in front of
where Mr. Sebastian Vettel dipped his Red Bull rear wing just a tad bit in water and he spun off too wide and ended up P2. And Mr. Jenson Button capitalized and won the race, the 4.5-hour gruesome race. Jenson Button had 3 front wing damages and 6 pit stops and still managed to win that year. So that was fun to watch.
Maza to aane wala hai. And
so guys,
yeah.
Stay tuned for next week. Don't forget to like, share, click that bell icon, subscribe, comment. जो भी algorithm बोल रहा है करने को करो.
Before we go, one question from chat that Arsh you should answer. Who do you think is the most talented driver on the grid right now?
Like you want a good answer or you want a shit answer?
Just answer it, man.
Honestly, with the guy with the most talent right now, I think is George Russell.
There you have an answer. Let us know what you think, chat, about who do you think is the most talented driver on the grid.
The dude's too talented, dude. Like, if you've seen him since Williams F2 in ART, oh, what a guy. He killed it.
Okay. On that note, my dog really wants to go out of the room. So I'm going to end the stream. And once again, thank you to everyone who joined. Thank you, Arsh. We'll see you guys next week. Have a fun one. Stay safe. Bye.
Same time, same day.
That's it. It's done.